business, right? Hey, guys, so tonight we want to go over a couple things that has been on our mind and our hearts. But first off, we want
for the last 5 minutes.
For the five, my wife quit already. So first we want to give a shout out to John McGinty. He hit gold this week. If you don't know who John is, John has 3 Purple Hearts for serving this country, which is amazing. Him and his wife Susan hit gold. They will be going on the gold cruise. Also, Cassie actually. What I love about Cassie is yesterday I called her and said, Cassie, this is what you need to do if you want to be gold. And quite honestly, guys, she was like 4,000 plus points from being gold yesterday. I don't know, it was probably around lunchtime, and it didn't freak her out. Most people, if I would have called them and said, hey, you're 5,000 points away from gold, they would have freaked out and been like, oh, I can't do that, right? But not Cassie. Cassie said, okay, this is what we need to do. Who's your builders, who you're talking to? And she went and got it done. So she's going on the free gold cruise. She'll be added to the Ucrew board here in a little while. And then David Lynn on Super Mario's team hit blue sapphire. That's crazy. He's been in the business for less than a month. So that's just crazy. And actually this past week, he went way past blue sapphire. So you'll be hearing more about David Lynn soon. And a lot of growth on that team. And then the next thing I want to talk about with my wife is she's back. She quit and then she came back. Hey, guys, so if you don't know who we are, this is Ricky and Francoise Untermeyer, Black Diamonds in the company. Hey, there might be new people in here.
Right. Hopefully they did their training.
Yeah, probably not.
Right.
But the next thing we want to talk about is the Carlsbad Regional. And boy, do you guys have a lineup. You have Dallin Larson and Carrie coming. You have the top founders of the company. But not only that, they've given you some major blessing by having his sister. I mean, his sister was the top earner of Dallin's first company, USANA, for 12 straight years. Her story is going to blow you away. It's the first time they've shared the stage together, guys. You're in for a treat.
It's going to be very emotional.
It is going to be emotional, and I'm jealous. They didn't do that for
like,
us in Florida. And not only that, guys, I hear all the time, my dog's sick, all this excuses. And honestly, I'm just going to be real. If there's anything about me, I'm open and honest. I don't sugarcoat because my dad never did. And he just formed me to be, I would say, tough, right? Diamonds are formed under pressure. And I don't believe sugarcoating is going to make you successful. And I believe pressure will make you diamond. So you got to get there. I mean, if you want my wife if you want me to work with you, you got to show some sacrifice. And I'm going to get into sacrifice in a minute. You should be at these regionals. Not only is the founder of the company going, well, that's a whole different subject. First off, you can sit in the seat and listen to someone that's created a $1 billion company twice. And not only that, the fastest company to $1 billion in the history of network marketing. To gain wisdom is to gain knowledge, which is what is going to make you successful in this profession. You get to sit at his feet. I would do anything I could to be there. Heck, the top person ever to be in this profession, Dexter Yeager, made over $500 million in this profession. He said he would do anything to sit at the feet of someone with wisdom from this profession. No better person than Dallin Larson. You guys got to get there. Whatever you have to do, it'll be the best regional. I know the lineup they have for you guys. Get to the regional. That's how you build this. Heck, our first sponsor, when my wife and I said, we're not going, it was in Dallas, Texas. We were in Florida. We were, a month in the business? What did she tell you? What did she tell you?
If you don't go to the event, I'm not going to work with you. And I was like, what? I was like, why? How dare she? And so I came home and I told Ricky, and he wanted to beat her up.
No,
you were like, what? Why did she say that to my wife? But it's so true, guys. If you're going to be here in 6 months, you need to get to these events. You need to get plugged in. We say it so often. I don't think you really understand what that means. It's like being plugged into anything else, like a church or team. You just don't show up once a month or once a week for church and be connected, right? Same thing with this business. You have to be fed and you have to have the encouragement of your team, because that always is, you don't clock into a job, right? And don't sit around the water cooler all day talking with your friends. So when you sit in these events, you look around and you're like, wow, you know, there's more than just me. Like there's all these people in the room that are just as passionate, they see my dream, they see the vision of the company, and that gives you the belief to go out and share this with conviction.
Well, I'll tell you why she said it, because she knew we would be gone. Look, and I'll get into that in a minute. Do you want to go first on your ways to build, or do you want me to?
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys, this was last minute for us. So I was just trying to think, what am I hearing in the field? What do I see in the field? And the last few weeks, it's really been on my heart because, you know, my training that we have created on Ucrew Nation, that's all we did. That 101 training, guys, is everything I did to make the millions that we have. And a lot of times I think you make it more difficult than what it really is, but it's all right there. And, you know, we talk about the system. And in that training, I talk about three-way calls, the connect call. And I teach on that. But I want you guys to understand, especially the new ones in here, that is what I'm showing you is a connect call. It's third-party validation, no matter which way you build. So when we talk about Ucrew system, it's not just connect calls. We want you belly to belly. We want you to do home meetings. We want you to bring them to events. It doesn't matter. It's always about third-party validation, no matter which way or however you want to build, always getting someone else's story. So if you're calling your friend, right, third-party validation would be a connect call. If you're sitting with your friend one-on-one at Starbucks or Panera, showing them the plan, flipping the chart, whatever, what do you need to do? Connect call. If you're bringing someone to an event, right, and you're actually a VVE, right, a VUVSA event, at someone's home. You're bringing them there, you're sitting down, someone else is flipping the chart, but guess what? It's third-party validation. That is what I'm trying to teach you. Never do it alone. If you want a business to build, if you want a residual income, it has to be system dependent, not people dependent. And I have to beg you guys to understand that very, very early in the business, because if you don't, your business will only grow as far as you can reach. It looks like 3D. That's really cool. As far as you can reach. And I learned this the hard way. So I want every one of you out there to know, I mean, there's 75 people on here. You don't know me. But personally, probably, a lot of you do, some of you don't. But the ones that don't, yes, for 13 years now. But those of you who don't know me, I want to tell you, anything I ever show you is because I've learned. We've learned the hard way, and I'm trying to teach it to you so you don't have to make the same mistakes. So I encourage you, if you're scared to pick up the phone, don't let it stop you. Three-way calls is not the only way. I do suggest that you learn how to do that, because to build this business, to build massive action, we just talked about this the other day at regionals, which regionals are kind of hard because we're training all different teams, right? So we can't really get into our system. But you have to do all these actions to have massive action in your business. And this is the last week to run to go for gold, right? You guys should be doing all of these. Connect calls, plugging into an event, right? Getting people one-on-one. If they can't get on a call, because you know they'll never they'll never get on a phone because it's not their thing. Say, hey, can I meet you for coffee? I want to share something exciting with you, right? Sit them down, show them, get the flip chart, open up your PowerPoint. If you don't know where the flip chart is, you can go to your Viseo app. And it says flip chart. All you do is open your phone and flip through the ones you know, the things you don't know. Say skip, sorry, I'm new at this. Skip, and just really tell them the story. Remember, guys, it's not about what we have. It's not about the products. It's about you. It's about your belief. People buy you, believe it or not. You can think it's the Viseo. You can think it's Dallin. At the end of the day, they're trusting you. And so if you have that belief tank super, super full by going to events, by plugging into the team, by getting on the calls, right? Getting on these calls. Thank you guys for all getting on, because you're building your business right now, because you're going to get out here after you hear my husband, be fired up, ready to go, right? Because after he's done talking, I'm fired up, ready to go. And guess what? We're right in time for the 7 o'clock hit for the California teams, because they're always revving us up. We do have California problems, by the way. We can't fall asleep till like 2 a.m. now. Thank you very much. I mean, I get these black circles that stay under my eyes. But so you guys, that's been on my heart. I want you to know that our system is not confined just to three-way calls. I would love for you to do them all. If you want to hit your rank, whatever it is that you want to achieve, it's doing massive action, one after another, after the other, after the other, because everyone's going to have a different way of responding, right? Yep. I mean, look at our CBD hats. Everyone has a different color. We have to build different ways. Everybody responds differently. Everyone has different likes and dislikes. So whatever you show somebody is typically what they'll follow and they'll do. but you have to get them out of the habit. If I show a team, if somebody comes in from a Viva Sale event, guess what? The team wants to do Viva Sale events all the time. So they do one on Monday. So then you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. The team's not moving. But if they did an event on Monday, and then Tuesday did connect calls, Wednesday did connect calls, next thing you know, they're doing another home meeting because there's so many people came in from connect calls that they have to do another home meeting, or they're in someone else's living room. So that's the goal, is to get out of your house, into the next person's house, into the next person's house. And then between those meetings, you're doing these connect calls. And, you know, that's pretty much it, you guys. But I wanted to hit that hard. And don't be afraid to do home meetings. You don't have to be perfect. Right? Ucrew Nation and Training 201, we've put together a nice section for you. We've added some new things. We'll be adding the next 48 hours on how to do a home meeting, but not only just how to do the agenda of it, the itinerary of it, what you need to do, a nice list, a checkoff list, and the things that you need to have for your event. So there'll be things out there for you to be more successful and be more confident. And so we're really excited about that.
I'm bursting with information right now after listening to my wife go to town.
Okay.
Look, I mean, guys, you look at Ricky and Francoise, you look at these people that are moving, they're following a system. If I watch so many people, my gosh, you just want to shake them. It's so easy to build this business if you follow a system. Why wouldn't you want to use leverage? Why wouldn't you want to get a Jennifer Bennett on the phone that's made 6 figures? Why wouldn't you want to get Lindsay McKinney who's made $7,000 in her first 7 weeks? Why wouldn't you want to get Mario that's made $80,000? Why wouldn't you want to get someone better than you on the phone to deliver the information that's done it repeatedly? It's like you getting on a bicycle the first time, and it'd probably be a mess. You get someone that's a professional bike rider, would be a lot prettier, right? It's the same concept. It's using leverage. It's showing your friend, listen, you can build this business a lot faster on a 3-way phone call all day long and then to a home meeting. How did Ricky and Francoise move so fast when we started this profession? We took massive action. I know people use that word and they don't even understand it. A lot of people ain't going to call as many people as we did our first week. I'm not expecting you to. We called over 250 people. We didn't just call them and say, hey, I got something, click, I'm not interested. No. What I say, we showed over 250 people the business properly with a video and a third-party validation. But here's the thing. Not only did we take massive action, we did a whole meeting that week. And we did it all the ways that my wife just talked. And it taught you, and it taught us how to build this business very fast. But here's the thing. When you do 250 phone calls, guess what? You're on mute and you learn.
You earn while you learn.
You learn. You know, that first week, we probably condensed 2 years.
That's right.
In 1 week.
Yes.
Because we heard from someone at a very high income level talk. You think that, okay, this person wasn't interested right then. That's a whole nother training. It usually takes 8 to 12 times for you to follow up to get them into business, right? But think about this. Just because they didn't join your business, think about what you learned, what your brain grew, what you learned in this profession.
For free.
It's more valuable. You can't afford us, but you get us for free. Think about that for a second. Every 3-way phone call that you're learning from a leader, you're actually becoming more of a leader in the profession. So if you take massive action, you learn faster, guys. And if you're only doing it one way, you are handicapping your momentum. Especially with Viseo. Man, I got so much information going through my brain, I can't get it all out. But listen, Viseo is set up right now. It's like a daggum Ferrari. And most network marketing companies have a tricycle when they're starting out this new. We're 2 years in this company, and you got a Ferrari or a jet. All you got to do is get in and crank that thing. Not every person's going to say yes today. It's not about you. If I'm showing this to Francoise, think about this. This company is so good that they're not saying no to me. They're not saying no to Viseo because Viseo is that good. They're just not the right time in their life, right? They could be having problems at home. Their kid could be having problems. And there's so many other distractions in life right now, but they're not saying no to you. You're just the connector, but you have a near perfect opportunity. The jet's on the runway. If you show it to enough people, you're going to find someone that's going to get in that jet, and they're going to have the same dreams and goals as you, and they're going to be going the same direction. It's going to take off. I mean, I've done so many connect calls today, and the people that do them over and over and over, they hit. And, I can tell you just one I just did a little while ago. The people are coming on board. They're buying They're buying the builder's pack, and this girl did 3 of them today. Earlier today, Shanna did 2. Both of them came on board. It's just using that system over and over. And look at the people that are on this gold cruise. They're following the system. They're doing home meetings. They're doing 3-way calls. And if you do them, you want to be on that gold cruise, you got to take massive action. Look, if you follow our system and you use the leaders that have been trained to do it, not you use leaders to help you. If you show 10 people the business, you're generally going to get 1 or 2, maybe 3. And so what does that tell you?
The start is 1 out of 10, right? So as you grow.
I think with Becerra, we can get 2 out of 10.
I know, but I think we should just go back to the basics with people, though, because, it does take, for us, in the beginning, it's 1 out of 10 people. I mean, 1 out of 10 to say yes. So I would like you to start there and then watch your ratio as it grows. So after you sit with 10, if you get 2 out of 10, that's your ratio. I always say your business should be predictable. So if you did 10 calls or 20 calls the last couple of weeks and you only got...
I think 1 out of 10 when you first show it to them. But if you follow up long enough, I think the ratio goes way up. Listen, they say...
Of course, yes. Of course your ratio is going to go up. But if you use a connect, right, you're going to go up faster because we're letting you borrow our credibility and our skills. And like Ricky said, why wouldn't you use somebody else that actually has had success? Because people are going to buy into the story. And if your story is not big enough, borrow someone else's. It's all it's about.
The best storytellers are the biggest business builders in network marketing.
Right. It's not about the script. It's about the story.
It's not about the facts. It's about the stories. The stories sell and will build you a big business. Guys, you hear this all the time. The fortune's in the follow-up. I'll say this. Persistent follow-up is where the fortune's at because we've seen it. My wife and I, from following up constantly for years, you get someone in the business and they build the business when the timing's right in their life. Look, guys, if you really want to go gold, if you really want to be diamond in this company, whatever your dream is, my dream and my wife and I's dream, we're walking around an island in Fiji 3.5 years ago. We wanted to make life-changing income. I was sick of construction. Listen, 87% of people that watch this are sick of the job they have, and they don't really like the people they work with. 67% are unhappy with their job financially. So that was me. I was sick of construction, but it brought in the money. We came back, and it has given us our dreams. If you want that in life, here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to sacrifice. And, I know that word is thrown out there a lot, and I want to break it down for you because, you might see my wife and I now on a spring break, or you might see us, whatever. But let me tell you, for the first 3 years, we sacrificed. And still, we don't even know what a TV is. We don't watch TV, guys. You're going to have to give up some things. So if you look up sacrifice and you look at what it really means, listen to some of these words. To suffer, okay? You're going to have to suffer if you're going to sacrifice, right? What does that mean? You're going to have to go through some pain, all right? Any success is not given.
Growing pains.
Growing pains. You're going to have to grow. Once you grow, your income's going to grow, guaranteed. But also, you're going to have to go through some pain for success. You're going to have to go earn it. It's not given at all. The person that sacrifices the most is the one that's going to have the most success. We sacrificed for 3 years, guys. We didn't watch TVs. We didn't work 5 days a week. We had to work on Saturday, Sunday. We worked on Friday night. The boundaries we have set in place, we had to learn them. Well, that's a whole another training. But listen to the second word, forfeit. You're going to have to forfeit some things in your life, right? Maybe some gym. I got out of shape for a while. Looked like I had AIDS. I wasn't eating. I was 160. So you got to forfeit some things in life, right? You might have
I have a picture in my phone.
No, we're not showing that right now. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't do that thing because I wanted to get my queen the things that she wanted in life. I wanted my kids not to have to grow up like me to get 1 pair of shoes a year, to wear bathing suits to school for school pictures. Now my wife makes fun of me because I clean my shoes all the time. Well, I didn't mean it derogatory, but I value them things because I didn't have them as a kid. But so I want my kids to have the nicer things. I know what it's like to be broke. And I think that's part of our success. We weren't scared to go broke. We burnt the boats and said, can be life-changing if we go put market share, if we forfeit some things. Hey, the next word, forego. You might have to forego some things right now to get them later, like we have, guys. Write these words down: suffer, forfeit, forego, endure. A lot of people don't endure the pain, right? They can suffer, but when it starts to happen a little longer than they really wanted to, they quit. They don't want to forego. They don't want to endure the pain. Listen, the longer you endure the pain here, the more success you have, I guarantee. I've watched the people that stick around. I'm more impressed with the people that stick around for 2 years, a year. I'm more impressed than the person that comes out in 2 months and makes $8,000, because heck, I've seen that happen before, which I'm going to get in a minute, in 90 days. Part with. You might have to part with some friends. The ones that aren't doing nothing, I always want you to do something with them. They're probably the ones you don't want to hang out with, right? The ones that are busy are getting things done. Busy people get things done. You might have to part with some things that are holding you back, right? As I say all the time, don't let your sin be your anchor. You might have to part with some sin. You might have to part with some people. You might have to get and be different with some things that you already are to become something that you really want to be. So guys, learn the word sacrifice. Learn it. Go and learn these words, because it is the ultimate thing to be successful in this profession. Because, the hardest thing for people is to go from employee mindset to a business mindset, because you have to be self-motivated. You have to be self-driven. You have to know when to do, how to do, what to do on your own. You're not told what to do. That's a big difference, right? And once you change that mindset, because a lot of people on here for a lot of years have been, told when to show up to a job, told what to do when they get to the job, right? And then they have to switch that mindset when they get off work and become the business owner, which takes sacrifice, guys. It's going to take sacrifice. But let me tell you, this part-time thing will bypass your full-time thing if you do it long enough. And the last thing I want to share with you, 90 days. If you're new on this group, listen, I've seen so many people come in this business and they do well for the first month. And then I watch them. They do pretty well their second month. The real key is the 60 to 90 days, because guess what? They went through who they call their warm market, and then they have to start following up, and they have to meet new people. They have to call people they went to high school with, or people they ain't talked to in a long time. It gets a little bit more uncomfortable. And when it gets uncomfortable, they go back to the comfortable thing. And the comfortable thing is easy. And that comes back to sacrifice. Listen, the people that make it 90 days generally will make it a year. And the thing about it is 90 days is hard. Why? People quit on their marriage. They quit on their freaking kids. They move out, leave their kids at home with the wife. It's easy. They start a diet and they quit in a week. First day. New Year's resolutions should be thrown out the window. You shouldn't even talk about them anymore. They're never done. So guys, 90 days. I promise you, most people make it only 2 months. And I'm talking about people that'll make $5,000 the first month. They already have the money stored. Most people in this profession will make $500 the first year. And on our team, most people will make $500 the first week if they follow the system. So guys, think about this. 90 days, drill it in your mind. Because if you can learn the success habits of 90 days, you're making a year. And this business is called a 4-year plan, because you're doing it. Think about it. You're doing this an hour or two a day. If you compare that to traditional business, these people are doing a traditional business 12 to 16 hours a day. Heck, when I started, you ask Tim Lux, you ask Zach, you ask JT, all these business owners, when you own a real full-time business, you're doing it when you start 12 to 15 hours a day. I used to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning at 19 years old. I wouldn't get home till 10 p.m. So what is the comparison? You're doing a part-time business hour a day, and you're trying to compare it to a full-time business owner, and it is not reality. So you have to have time strength to realize that an hour a day business 5 days a week is going to take you a lot longer than a traditional business. And so that becomes mindset. But you have the perfect vehicle, as we already talked about. So guys, 90 days, you have to have time strength. Even if you've made $6,000 your first 2 months, well, guess what? You're 99% more successful than most people in this business. So you have to have a long-term vision, because if you make it, like most people quit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think it's important too, like, you know, when you go on a diet, you kind of, before you start your diet, you figure out what you want to give up, right? Isn't that pretty true? Heads nodding. Like, you know, okay, listen, I need to lose 10 pounds, all right? So you're like, I'm no more chips, right? I'm going to not go out to eat every night. So you make a plan, and then you get rid of those things in your life. So if you're thinking in 90 days, I really want to change my life, and I have to say 90 days is really what's going to be, what it's going to take, and what you need to do to have that life-changing experience in this business. It's like anything else. It's kind of crazy how there's 90-day diets and 90-day runs, because it's that magical 90 days. But when you go into this, you have to put the rituals in place. You have to figure out, what am I going to give up? Look at your daily life. What can you take out, right? Can you turn off the TV for 30 minutes? When you get in the car in the morning, you listen to the talk shows or the AM radio for football or whatever, or you just listen to your favorite oldie station that you love that brings you back to when you're in high school. Whatever it is, can you change that? And maybe say, you know, I'm going to listen to something like self-development today. I'm going to build my mind in my business, because when you build your mind, it makes you a better version of yourself. And it's the law of attraction. You're going to attract better people if you become a better version of yourself. So figure out what you're going to give up. Put it down on paper. There's magic. A pen and paper, there's magic in this. And I promise you, everything I've ever done, if it didn't get written down, it doesn't get done. That's why I'm so big on planning and writing notes. My husband gets on me. But if I don't write in the morning what I'm going to do, you know what happens? It's like trying to go to Texas without a roadmap, right? Have you ever tried to go to Texas without a roadmap? It's not going to work. I mean, basically, I can't even get to the mall, okay? So
It's a whole nother training.
There's a whole nother training on that, how to use your GPS. I can run a huge business and I can dive in your legs, but don't ask me to take you anywhere, because I'm like, I'm so lost. But, you know, that's a big thing, guys, is make a plan, figure out what you're willing to give up. If you're married and you have children, talk about it. Bring your family into your goals and dreams. It's very important. I don't know if you have a dream board. We do. It was huge for our family, because it wasn't just us. And, you know, Ricky and I, we sacrificed a lot in the beginning. We talk a lot about boundaries. I think that everyone should have boundaries: God, family, business. But for a 90-day run, you can still have boundaries, but you tweak them, right? And you always make sure that you're living up to your expectations, whether instead of, you know, taking off a whole Sunday for your Sabbath, maybe you just take off, you know, from morning for church, after lunch, you know, have lunch with your kids and work in the evening if you have to, whatever you have to do. But you still have to keep it God, family, business, and take time for the things that are higher level in your life. And don't ever let business come before that. You know, we talk about sacrifice, but as long as you keep those boundaries, because if not, you know, it's like Chick-fil-A, right? They close on Sunday. God blesses the heck out of them, right? So even though you're only giving 90, right, God's going to bless that 10%. So you're never going to be beyond that. You're never going to be behind, because God's going to bless that 10%. But there is definitely sacrifice, things you have to forgo and forfeit. And I don't know if people really understand that. You know, I'm going to sacrifice, I'm going to make 20 calls this week. Great. Are you going to do that next week and the week after? You know, and if your ratio sucks when you start, sorry, you know, some people start there, but guess what? You just keep on pushing. And it's like, you know, courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, right? There's pain associated with, I don't know if any of you ever did bodybuilding or went to the gym. Like if you're trying to build a bicep muscle, guess what? You're gonna have to go through that pain. And when you do, what happens? The growth occurs. Right? And the results start to come. But you have to endure that pain. And enduring the pain is hard, because now you have to look at yourself and say, can I get over myself? Because a lot of times it's your own fear that's holding you back. And, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, confidence and self-esteem in yourself. And that's another whole training, because a lot of times I think you're doing it on your own strength. Right? But if you know, if you're in God's will, right, and you're living in God's will, then guess what? You should know that God wants you to obey him. And if he's putting something in your path, he's going to give you the strength and courage to do so. Right? So you have to step out in faith. You have to be courageous enough to step out of your comfort zone and say, God wants me to take dominion over this world, over my life. He wants prosperity for you. And so, you know, for me, a lot of times I don't want to do, For real, I get nervous on this. Like if you guys are thinking, oh yeah, they got it together. We both don't like publicly speaking at all, but we know God has called us and he's put us in this position. If he's put us in this position, then he's going to give us the word. Just like Jeremiah 1:6, he says, I'm not a prophet. Jeremiah says, I'm not a prophet. I'm too young. And you know what happens? God says, I put you in this position. I'm going to give you the words to speak. You just have to be strong enough to open your mouth. So you don't have to know everything about CBD. You don't have to know everything about the business. All you have to know is the first thing is the word and God's truth and his promise. If you know that, then you know that God is going to speak through you and give you whatever you need for the person you're sitting with. You could be sitting with a doctor and he doesn't even need to know about medical. He needs to hear something else. But you know what? You're coming from a different place that's anointed by God, and he's going to speak for what that guy needs to hear. And guess what? There are some people, God, you know what he's going to do? He's going to put earmuffs over their ears. And you're going to say, Lord, you have the wheel. I want you to run my business. And I'm okay if John, Sarah, and Sue said no, because I know something. I'm in your will, and you're guiding my path. So.
Yeah, and that's another thing. What's coming out of your mouth? I mean, what my wife said, if it depended on you to eat on Friday, I bet you'd go make 40 calls. I mean, think about it. I mean, honestly, if we had a mentality we weren't going to eat, we would go share this with everybody. Hey, if you take my wife's ratio, 400, you're 1 out of 10. Okay, they say in network marketing in a binary that you can be life-changing income if you sign up 40 people. Okay, let's break it down. If you had to talk to 400 people to never work your dang job again, would you not talk to 400 people? I mean, give me a break. I would. They told me, hey, you sponsor 40 people. Okay, how fast can I sponsor 40 people? I didn't care. All I needed to do is sponsor 40 people. So think about that. If I can talk to 400 people, I can have the ultimate residual income freedom for the rest of my life. I can change the history of my last name if I go talk to 400 people. I think we're thinking about here and now instead of having the vision all the time and what's coming out of your mouth. I get on the phone with people that's made $10,000 in the last 2 months, and they sound like they're defeated. Like, I'm like, oh, well, I'm not having much. You've already made 10 grand. What's coming out of your mouth is what you're attracting. If you change what's coming out of your mouth, you'll start attracting what you want. I mean, a lot of times the Bible says, without vision, the man perishes. Well, the vision starts in your mind, and life and death is in the power of your tongue. So whatever you're speaking is what you're going to attract. I guarantee you, ask Van Womack. When my wife and I came to Viseo, we were scared to death. We didn't know one person in this company. We didn't even know our sponsor. We didn't know what the heck we're going to do. But the words that we came out of our mouth, we're going to be the #1 team in this company. We're going to take over this team. And we never stopped that mentality and then words that came out of our mouth.
Did we believe it at first?
Did we probably believe every word? No. But the more you start saying it, the more your mind starts believing it, the more you attract the people that needs for it to happen and for it to conceive. And think about it. If your vision will line up with your mouth, then you'll start attracting things and your vision will become reality. And that's what happened every time in my life. So you have to come with a stronger self-esteem. What my wife always preaches, how do you get self-esteem? Belief. How do you get better belief? You get wisdom and you get around other people that have better belief. Because that's why they say you become the 5 top people you hang out with. A lot of you people need to part with the 5 people you hang out with because your stinking thinking is because you're hanging out with them 5 people.
Get out of the boat with all the people that say, I can't. Get out of the boat.
Exactly. So don't stop. I see people, my gosh, all the time, and I get to talk about this right now. I see so many people that have the ability to go diamond, but don't do anything.
I know.
Like, they could be better than me. I see all the qualities, but they just sit around and they don't do nothing. It pisses me off. Mm-hmm. And then I see people on this call right now that have had major success. And they get to the tipping point. There's a tipping point. Look, and I'm going to show you this diagram. There's a mountain in network marketing. You start pushing this ball up the mountain. And when it hits this other side, you can't stop it. And I'm going to show you why and how. So they get to this mountain. They're pushing it, and they're starting to have success. There's people on this call right now. that has they've produced 10,000 points both legs, and they're on that tipping point, and they stop. And here's what happens. That rock goes all the way back to the bottom, and they got to start over. If they would have just stopped, they just don't stop. They just keep going. Here's what happens. Yesterday, over 100 people came in our business, and we didn't know one of them. What? Why? How? Because 2 years ago, we kept pushing that rock. And now that rock is on the other side, and you can't stop it, we can't stop it, no one can stop it. Because we never stopped pushing that rock. And that's what you have to realize. If you push that rock long enough and you get it on that other side, 100 people become in your business every day and you don't know where they are, where they're from, or who they are. So don't stop. Keep pushing the rock. Keep doing everything we're telling you right now. Follow the system and you will have success.
You know, it was funny when you were saying that, babe. One thing I think that I was actually getting emotional, and I still am, so I'm trying not to talk because I'm getting emotional, but it's hard because we see so much talent in all of you. And there's a saying, you know, let us believe in you before you believe in yourself. And I truly mean that. Everyone on our team, I can't say that there's one person that doesn't have what it takes to do what we've done. But they don't believe in themselves and they don't have the confidence to go and share it. And it's just sad because if you think about it, guys, I mean, if you have to just sponsor 40 people, like you said, to change your life, don't quit. That's all we did. 20 on the right, 20 on the left. Every one of you can do that. Every single one of you. If you don't have a big network, make a network. Get into groups. Get into Facebook. Join some after activities after work. Get into some social clubs. You can make friends. I mean, you know, we sign up people in the airport. So, you know, just find a way to recreate yourself and go out there. I mean, I see a lot of you at CBD hats. This is a great marketing tool. I've never seen anything like this. I'm not a person that likes to get branded. I'm totally branded with CBD because everybody wants it. And, you know.
We're not even talking about my CBD shirt.
What?
My CBD shirt you're going to get on.
He wears it every day. I mean, literally the CBD one shirt, I have like 3 of them I bought because I love them so much. And now I can't even put it on because he wears it in the house, at the gym. When we're traveling, I'm like, dude, do you have any other shirt?
Hey, but get this. I didn't brand myself ever in this profession.
Never.
So what does that tell you? CBD is going to be huge. Yeah. It's going to be huge. Yeah. So guys, you have to start pushing the rock. And you keep pushing it up that mountain, and here's the thing. Oh, God gave me this revelation. You start pushing the rock in this profession, guess what? You got these 2 people, you got many people on here that's going to help you push that rock up that mountain, and that's what's so powerful about this profession. You ain't pushing that rock by yourself. Yeah. Only, get this, only if you choose to push that rock by yourself.
You don't pick up the phone, call your upline, call the person who's sponsored. If you don't know who the upline is, find it. Call me. My phone number is right on Ucrew Nation, Ricky and I's phone number. We will hook you up with an upline and get you, we'll help you and whoever else we can get to help you. We have so many amazing leaders in Ucrew Nation that dedicate their extra time to making sure everyone on the team is united and they're successful in all areas. We take a lot of time to grow you. What you should be doing if you're new to the team, a lot of us are duplicating really fast. So, it's really no one's fault if things get missed. But if you're on this call right now, you should go to Ucrew Nation, and you've never done anything for Ucrew yet, you should be going to ucrewnation.com. That's our team website. Okay? Free. And
never will charge.
We'll never charge for that. And, what you do there, you go to the one-on-one training, okay? The password is, what is it again? Oh, True Freedom. True Freedom, all lowercase. Okay, yeah. True Freedom, all lowercase. And you get in there, you do the one-on-one training. After you're done with that training, you call the person who sponsored you. If you don't know who that person is or whatever reason, you call me and I'll answer your questions. After that, you want to progressively start going through 201 training. If you're on here, you haven't went through 201 training, go to 210 training. Then go to 301. You should be progressively going to each stages. If you've been in a year, if you're not doing 301 training yet, that's where you start to build your board. That's when you start to understand the comp plan at a higher level. If you're in this building and you're going for ranks, you definitely should be looking at your volume every week, right? If you're going for ranks, we suggest, why don't you give me some suggestions on going for Right.
Not to stare at your computer. People ain't going to just join. Listen,
anyone do that?
The lifeblood of this business is sponsoring people and having a plan. Look, my wife and I sat down Sunday, and we made a plan. Look, the Bible says if you don't have a plan, God can't guide your footsteps. You have to understand this. Most of you, I talk to people all the time, what's your plan to get to Blue Sapphire? What's your plan to get to gold? Oh, I'm just going to make calls. Well, that's part of it, but you got to have it written down. Why did God write the Bible down? It's the most important book in the world, so you can read it. But also, if you start writing the plan down, God's going to direct your footsteps. So you got to start writing your goals down. That's why they say the most important part of being successful is first, write your goals down. Then guess what? Write a plan. I challenge every one of you, start writing a plan down. If you don't have a plan, you're going to miss it every time. You don't have a target, right? So write your plan down so God can direct your footsteps. Look what happened to the company yesterday, the largest day in the company. Guys, if you don't know what that means, the people that were around here 2 years ago when we launched this company, it was insane. So momentum is so close. And when momentum hits, people are going to be jumping in the boat. You don't have to even show them the business, right? It's going to be so crazy. But, to get to a goal, okay, let's talk about gold. Gold is 6,000 points each leg.
And if you guys are looking, that's what I'm actually looking for. If you're looking for like how to get to ranks and what you need, if you go to your Viseo app and you go to the PDF section, you look for a document that's called rewards plan, okay? That rewards plan is basically every rank and what you need to do to get to those ranks. Those are your qualifications. Every single one of you should have this printed out, and you should have it highlighted on what rank you're trying to hit. And every week your goal is to hit the next rank. That's how you move up. If you're just like every week, I'm just doing whatever, there's no goal. If you don't have a target, you'll miss it every time, right? You have to have a plan. You have to have a roadmap. So if you want to go and find that, it's a rewards plan in your Viseo app under the PDF.
Yep, and then they'll show you points, and then you just divide the points, how many people you need. Say they're all builders pack. 6 people in your lesser leg will get you to gold if you have points stored on one leg. And that'll get you to gold in a 7-day period. That could come from, you could sign up 2 people, they could sign up 4, and that's gold. So guys,
yeah, we're done.
You're going to show them?
Yeah,
it's 10:12. It's about 45 minutes. I've enjoyed pouring out some godly wisdom to you tonight. And we love each and every one of you.
Okay, so getting to gold, guys, super simple. It's backwards, darn it. Okay, so gold, 6,000 points on one leg, 6,001 on the other, right? It has to be 6,001. So your lesser leg has to be 6,000. So say 6,001. So you got to think, everything's a point system, right? So if you have to get 6,000 points on one leg, let's just keep it simple. The builder pack, that's 6 of them. If you get 6 builder packs, you're gold on one side. Well, if you're trying to hit gold and you can't do it on one week, then you build up one leg, and the next week you run on the other side, right? So 6,000 on your right leg on this week, on the first week, the second week you go to the other one, and you build it up because the computer will cycle. And so what happened, you're helping yourself accumulate, because it's hard to get, for some people, to get 12,000 points in a week. So you do it 2 weeks in a row. Now, remember though, when you're building this, if you have people running with you, so if you have a team of 3 people, right? Get everybody to do it with you. Say, hey, let's all go for gold, because guess what? All of your volume will equal each other's. So if Ricky and I are running together, he brings in 3,000 points, I bring in 3,000 points. Now we're both 6,000 points on one side, and I did half the effort because we're doing it together. That's the power of a team. So don't go start running by yourself. Call the 3 people you brought in and say, hey guys, let's go on this cruise together. Let's do this. Let's all get together and let's run together, and we can use each other's volume. So you want to start doing things smarter, not harder, and working as a team. So that's just a little tip. You know, like Ricky said, we really enjoyed coming to you tonight. I hope you guys liked the raw and unplanned, because that's all it was. I was literally running up and down because we were putting my kids to bed and, you know, just getting things ready for the next day. We had no nanny tonight. So when we heard this last minute, we're like, oh, okay, let's do it.
The footsteps of success are learned during the journey. And we have learned the footsteps, and now we can convey them pretty easily because we did them. And that's where you have to just follow in line behind the footsteps of people that's done what you want to do. And that's why it's easy to convey the message, because we did it, blood, sweat, and tears. We learned a lot of stuff we did wrong. When you learn from more of the wrong than you do the right in the downtimes. And you guys are going to have downtimes. You're going to have struggles, and that's part of the journey.
That's right.
You're going to learn a lot in the valley that makes the view a lot better from the top. So, guys, we love you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for getting on. Reach out to us anytime.
Are you kissing me or are you kissing them? I love you.